Hey, it's Chris. Thank you for stopping back to my channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can stay connected and continue to get some of these cool videos and good nuggets and tips that I put out on my channel regularly. I was doing it every day for a little bit, and then I fell down and I failed and I missed a bunch of days, and I had a good excuse. My mother died. Okay, but that's not the point. All excuses are equal when you're trying to achieve a certain objective. It's simply something that gets in the way of what you're trying to do. And so I didn't put any videos down. I'm putting out videos again. Anyway, today's subject matter is about failure. Tell you a quick story. 5th grade, all right? Recess time. I'm out with the kids. We're on the back lawn there behind the school, and there was like a baseball diamond, and some of the kids thought, hey, let's play some kickball. It's a big red rubber ball, and you play it just like baseball, except you're kicking the ball, instead of swinging a bat. So I get up there. It's my turn to kick the ball, and I don't know, I guess I wasn't really thinking too much about what would be the most effective thing to do, but instead of taking the inside of my foot and kicking it really far and long, I went at it with my toe, and it bounced off into the off the edge of the field there, foul ball. And it's like everybody's laughing at me, right? Well, I never claimed to be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I really didn't get a whole lot better after that point. And so this one day that comes, and guys are saying, hey, let's play some kickball. And usually there'd be 2 team captains. One would pick whoever in the crowd of kids that they wanted, then the next one would pick who they wanted. They go back and forth, take turns, so that each team captain could assemble the best team that they could, of people who, kids who would likely help make the team win. Well, guess what? I was the last guy standing. I was the last guy chosen. And the team captain said, all right, Hans Schmidt, you can come play with us. So it was humiliating. And I don't think it was too long after that point, I just lost all interest in sports. All right, I played a little pee-wee football when I was younger. I tried track in 7th grade, so I guess I tried one more time. But I don't know, I just didn't like failing, and sports seemed to be a lot about failing to me. Well, a lot of people think that failing is going in the opposite direction of success. And that's what I thought. I mean, it felt bad. I was performing lousy. It certainly was nothing like winning would feel like. And so I figured I'm going in the wrong direction, right? And so it's a common belief to think that failure is leading you away from success. But actually, at some point, I realized that failure is the road to success. See, what I could have done is hung in there and learned how to kick the kickball better, use the inside of my foot rather than my toe. Or I could have, gotten in better shape so I could run faster around the bases. Or I could have done this or that or the other. Could have lifted weights, could have competed, could have gotten serious about it so that my physical ability in sports would get better and I'd be a better player. But I didn't look at it that way at that time, because I thought I was heading away from success and it hurt too bad. So maybe you can relate to what I'm talking about. What have you failed at in your life? I failed at a lot of stuff. I'm no different than anybody else. And each time it's like, oh, this is not fun. This feels bad. This, it affects my self-worth, this and that. It's depending on how you think about it. And I was thinking about it in the worst possible way. Then I heard a story in the 90s that blew me away. Somebody said, hey, Chris, you know Babe Ruth, right? And I said, yeah, a baseball player. Now, again, I'm not a sports guy, so The only reason I knew Babe Ruth is because he's probably the most popular baseball player of all time. Everybody knows who Babe Ruth is, right? So I go, yeah, I know Babe Ruth. He goes, did you realize, and this guy was trying to teach me something about failure. So he goes, all right, Chris, you know, he, at the time, I believe he was the home run king. Now, I looked it up a minute ago. There's actually 2 baseball players that have hit more home runs in than Babe Ruth, being Barry Bonds and what was the other guy? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Hank Aaron, that's who it was. So, but this guy was teaching me about failure, and he goes, okay, so Babe Ruth is, we'll just call him the third position, best number of home runs hit in during his Major League Baseball career. All right. He had 2,873 hits in his career. I looked it up. All right. Now, 714 of those hits were home runs. That's almost exactly 25%. So 1 out of 4 times when he got to bat and got a hit, it was a home run. So a home run's awesome. You know, that's what people notice. That's what people clap for. That's what people jump up and down and get excited about. But 3 times as many times as he had home runs, he just had a base hit. And then, of course, strikeouts. He had 488 strikeouts in his career as well. So what does all this information teach us about failure? Well, here's what it says. Babe Ruth was willing to stand up at the plate and take a swing. 488 times when he did that, he whiffed. He hit nothing but air. All right, he failed. People probably booed at different points. People probably laughed at different points. Whatever, he failed. But he also got 714 home runs. He's the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball history. Here's another example. You know Thomas Edison, he invented the light bulb, right? So you might not realize this, but Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times to create a working light bulb before he finally succeeded. I believe, if my memory's correct, it's 10,009 times. And before he had his breakthrough and succeeded in creating the light bulb with the proper filament that wouldn't burn out and the proper size and whatever he had to tweak and shift and try out and change during all those attempts, he finally succeeded in putting it all together to create a working light bulb. But before this happened, he was interviewed by a reporter for a newspaper. And the reporter said, "Mr. Edison, how does it feel to have failed 10,000 times to create a light bulb?" And Mr. Edison's response is a classic example of how to think about the whole concept of failure. His response was, "Young man, I have not failed once. I have successfully found 10,000 ways that it won't work." That's what failure is. I mean, what are we going to do when all of a sudden we whiff? We hit nothing but air, our butts in the ground, in the dust. What are we going to do? If people are laughing at us, how are we going to feel? If people are booing, what are we going to do? How are we going to respond? Well, what we're going to do if we're strong and committed and persistent is to get up, dust yourself off, and get back up to the plate. Yes? And take another swing. True, we won't hit it out of the park every time. True, we won't even get a hit every time. But by continuing to step up to the plate, knowing that failure is a mindset, failure is just a man-made idea, a way to feel guilty, a way to feel bad. Failure is the road to success. as those two stories just illustrated. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter as well? Go to excitinglifestyle.com and I'll keep you informed with great tips, great stories, great strategies, and lots of cool fun in upcoming videos and on my email newsletter. Thanks for stopping in. See you on the next one.